right, well, we all know that math can be a very difficult subject for high school students, pretty much for everyone, right? And it's even worse. They go home because they have homework and they have little help with their schoolwork because we as parents, we forget what algebra is all about. Well, now, thanks to a local teacher, there is an app for that. Welcome to the show, Kevin Scritchfield. He's a math teacher from Sierra High School in Toll House, and he created this amazing app that helps students with algebra,
yes,
which is a very difficult subject from what I remember. That's why I took journalism, because I was not good at math. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about the app you created and why.
Well, I truly believe that the iPad, the iPod Touch, those devices are certainly within the framework of the future of education. They're just going to be developed so much more in schools. There's textbooks that are available on the iPad, and so as a learning tool, it's a great device. And so we wanted to create an app that helps students learn the process of solving equations within algebra, and we targeted it to Algebra 1 students, but it could be certainly used by pre-algebra or even earlier students, and geometry and Algebra 2 students to review. So.
I guess that makes sense, because anything that has to do with an app or video game type of whatever it is, computer, kids love, right?
They do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're all over it.
How did you go about finding a developer and then getting it on iTunes? Because now it's on iTunes, and we're going to talk about how it works.
Yeah.
And can I open this? Can you open it for me so I can show the camera and we could kind of get started on...
Actually, my 15-year-old son and I were trying to develop it on our own, but because he knows a couple programming languages and so on, but it just got to be a little too much, and we wanted to get it out on the iTunes store before anybody else did, kind of thing.
So there's nothing like this?
Not exactly like this.
Okay.
It's unique in several different ways.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's talk about how it works, first of all. Can you kind of give us an example?
So this is basically just kind of a look type thing, and so you can either pick the human teacher or the robot teacher, and it's really just the look of the screen once it gets there. This is part of what makes our app unique, is the fact that you can choose several different types of bingo games. It doesn't have to be just a straight line bingo game.
Okay.
You can do blackout if you wanted to, and teachers may want to use that to develop the process more. So just a basic straight line game. And then this is especially what makes our app unique, is that we've gone through 13 different levels of breaking down algebra equations.
Okay.
And so they're progressively more difficult as you go. And you know, if we just started with the most basic type of just addition within the algebra equation, so it comes up with this bingo board. There's an equation that will switch every time that you get an answer correct, and there's a timer here, and so you can kind of compete with yourself and do it faster and faster. But there's also strategy involved, because there's multiple choices of the same answer up here. So our answer here is 1, and so if you're going for a straight line bingo, now this one happens to also be 1, and so if I want a straight line bingo, instead of choosing this one, I would choose this one, and so on. The answer to this one's 5, and so it's not going to give me a straight line, so I'm going to have to choose it somewhere else.
So you're teaching algebra, but in the form of a bingo game.
Correct. And the app doesn't really necessarily go through the process of how to solve the equations. We've assumed that they've learned at least a portion of that within their classroom, but it's just practice within that. And trying to do that, develop that skill mentally. So
what if you hit the wrong number?
All it does is record that you've gotten a wrong number, so if that wrong, and it just, we have the volume turned down, but it just records that it's the wrong answer is all, and it still waits for you to be able to solve the same equation.
Oh, okay, so it gives you chances to keep trying until it actually works.
Right.
And then they're learning, but how do they know they're learning, or do they even know they're learning? Does that make sense?
They're learning basically through practice. And so because they're developing through the different levels of the game, they're developing all the different steps to solving more and more complex algebra equations as they go.
Well, see, this is a lot of numbers. Would you say this app was as fun as maybe an Angry Birds app or a game?
I don't know that we're at that level. Although we would take how many downloads Angry Birds has had. But one of the things that we want to do in our first update is to be able to have a secondary game in it.
Okay.
So that when you do get to a specific level within this, or earn enough of these bugs, then you will get into a secondary game that will allow them to play for a little while more.
That's really, really great. Okay, now we need to know how we can get hold of this app. How can we get it?
It's certainly available in the iTunes store.
Okay.
Just look for Alge-Bingo, ALGE-Bingo.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter.
Okay.
And we're available there. It's 99 cents for the app. Soon we will be also on the Android market. So if you have a Kindle Fire or a Color Nook,
are you getting good
Android
reaction
phone,
from
we
people?
are.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
we're having some great reviews already.
You should go show this to math teachers in all the high schools.
Yeah, we're trying to find schools that are specifically using iPads.
And you're also encouraging people to vote.
We are.
There's
a review website out there called I Heart This App, and they have a process of voting for our app there that just moves us up in their postings on their site, and so it's just kind of a fun way to keep track of it there.
Wow, so you, your son, and a developer made this happen.
We did, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
That
been
is
fun.
amazing. Okay, so get your, what's the app called again?
Alge-Bingo. A-L-G-E is in algebra, A-L-G-E hyphen bingo.
Alge-Bingo.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's us.
Congratulations. I think
Thank
that's
you.
so great. I appreciate you
It's been
being
a learning
here.
curve, but it's been a lot of fun.
I bet. Well, you're going to have a great time with it, I'm sure, and so are
Yes.
those high school students making
Hopefully.
algebra fun, believe it
Yes.
or not.
That's
Thanks
the
so
goal.
much for being here, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
All right. Don't go anywhere. Coming up,